A lot of these youth have been failed because it's cool. It's cool. Look at all these men on YouTube, Trap Law Ross and all these making documentaries. This man, they're not saying it in a bad way. They're almost like making these men legends.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Like names and he went over here and he done this and he done that and he linked up with this man. And
but this is the thing again, miseducation, and this is how it's a wonderful trick that they played. Money isn't everything, boss. Money and good money is the best money. The street money ain't, ain't good money, boss.
At all.
I can sleep well, peaceful at night. I don't need to look around corners and none of that kind of bullshit. None of this foolishness. Not retrieving illicit substances from my rectum. Okay, I'm not doing nothing like that. I'm not going canch and sleeping on bloody crackheads' sofas and stuff. That's the lifestyle.
I stand up in McDonald's before that.
Come, listen, I'm doing this. I'm picking up cans off the street, man. I'm going around with a bike and a little something on the back of me, picking up scrap, boss, and weighing that in. You talking about?
Straight. Because you understand, Noble, and we understand, and everyone on this stream, because you're here on this stream, understands that you're not, you're at where you're at temporarily. We understand that. So when I say before that I'll stand up in McDonald's, not forever, with a view to moving on, but before I go and jeopardize myself in that way, I work in McDonald's. Now that's how I look at life, but I'm saying a lot of these young guys, they've got such a short-sighted mind frame that they're thinking like, yo, I'm going to do this move today. Like we said, we're speaking about, let's say some little weed or something. Matter of fact, take it away from the road. It can be legit business where it's like, we can do good business together. You can come to me and say, yo, I need you to fix my roof. You're a roofer. Fix my roof, please. How much? Yeah, I'm going to pay you to do that. And I now do a great job at fixing the roof. I come on time. Whatever the issues are, we iron them out. We get the transaction done. And you're a happy customer. Yes. You know what you're now going to do? When your mom needs a new roof,
come on, Mark.
Mark, come back. Can you do my mom's? When your dad needs a roof, Mark, can you come to my dad's? When your mother-in-law, father-in-law, cousins, whoever else, friends, whatever, I've now got somebody who's happy with the work I did. Yes. They're now going to be, that's the best form of good business. That's the best form of repeat business. A happy customer.
No, it's the best form of advertising. It's the best form of advertising.
Yeah, best form of advertisement.
Once you provide that quality service or quality products, as Mark's highlighting, uncle, mom, sister, brethren, all of that thing. Yo, man, I got someone who can do that. Here's the card, man. Yo, I can WhatsApp you the number. He can pop out good prices. That's it, boss.
That's it.
You've created something, from the sweat of your brow, doing something which is now rewarding because you now getting repeat business of just being honorable and doing a good job. Referral.
And that goes for anything. A lot of these youths don't understand that because as much as people hate that a lot of these youths are on the road, they do bad business even on the road. And it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. So what are you saying, Noble? Should we get into the mom?
Yeah, man, let's keep the mom still. Cause this is going to be new for me. I only saw a little bit of it still.
Oh, okay. So the mom, she basically what I'm going to show you is now, I couldn't find the official BBC, so we had to use Shadeborough again. But what it is she's speaking about the struggles of the son. So I want us to play this and react to this. So let's go, folks.
I feel hurt because I try to prevent it. I've tried so many times. I scream it. I said, my son is going to end up being killed. So, and I'm sure next week there will be another one. It felt that this is the only protection he can get. Because when they said to me, Mommy, now we are safe. I have people who really can protect you. And he became so secretive. Everything was to be kept secret. He will scream, do you want me to get stabbed? If you say anything, I will get stabbed, Mom.
So you see what that is, yeah? That is what you call accountability. She said, I was sure that my son would be killed. That's what she said. She's seen this. A mother knows, A mother knows now. I understand that he had a rough start. Things happen, man. Like it's life. Life happens. She understands the predicament that the boy was in. She understands that. So now what we need to look at is how do you steer them away when you know there's an issue? And it's a very controversial take. A lot of people may not understand it, but I think as an African family, the only way to have saved that boy was to send him back to Africa, even if it was only temporarily. Now I know you're gonna get all that, but it's gonna cost them, Ray. That's something that might need to be looked at. But I think,
How much is his life worth?
thank you, Noble. Thank you. I think he would have had to have gone back to Africa, and that happened a lot. There was a lot of people who went back, who got sent back to like Jamaica or whatever, or certain Africans have been sent back. I think Burna Boy was one, I believe. I think Anthony Joshua as well got sent to Africa, to Nigeria. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying. Like that would have probably been one of the only ways to prevent this. But if he was in that area causing chaos and still remaining to frequent that area, I hate to say it, but it was inevitable.
It's folly, man, and it all stems back to something that happened, like maybe in like the early 2000s. Someone is no longer on this plane of existence, and it's just a cycle, sibling. At some point, someone's got to say, well, a lot of you then don't even know why they're warring with the other side. You know what I mean? Like, especially from Brum. The things that's going on in Brum, they don't even know where it started from.
Yeah, they don't know. They just got conditioned into believing.
Exactly. Them mans, they're from the other side still. They're not from B6. They're not from flipping what you call it. Nah. It's just, listen, Mark.
No, it's foolishness. We say it as it is. Aisha said AJ went back because his mom had a business. It weren't because of behavioral things or nothing. Because his mom had a business. But
that's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that the structure generally is when you've got a solid foundation home wise, and they see, wait a minute, we're in England now. Stuff's going on kind of crazy on your age group and stuff. I'm seeing a lot of maybe drugs. I'm seeing a lot of maybe deaths and all that. Yo, listen, I'm sending you back home still for a little bit, just to
Yeah, calm down. Just even a year. There's got to be someone, and you got to think as well, Noble. You got to think. I've always said this. I don't know how people feel, but I've always said that would be a very good movie idea. Imagine a movie, a UK film that displays a UK youth struggling here, and then mom or dad says, "You're going back for a year," and the movie shows him going back for that year. That would be a good movie.
That would be a powerful.
That would be very powerful, and that could save a lot of lives too. Something like that. Even if you done it. Instead of all these like gang narratives and all that kind of story there is real life. So show him at the start involved in nonsense, but then show.
Well, not even that. No, we don't even need to go that far, Mark. Yeah. We can show the influence of the gangs, and then the parents saying, "Oh, well up, no, you ain't hanging around with Mikey anymore. Who's this geezer? Alright, then you see in September. You're gone for 2 years, so you're going home."
Yeah.
And then him having that adjustment of like, but I've just linked these guys and, they're cool and, they're a little bit different from Mikey, but, blah, blah, blah. And then the transition of going back home, he's only been out there on holiday. He's got to make new friends. The education system may be a little bit more better and on point, you know what I mean? Then he starts to actually think, use his brain and see his unlimited potential and opportunities, and then say, okay, 2 years, yo, mom, dad, I'm coming back, boss. I've got this plan. I've already got the business plan already in place. I've set up this. I've spoke to this supplier. I'm coming back to kill it, boss. And then we see the journey of him now coming back to England, creating a business and being successful. Huh? That's what we need. That's the examples we want to see, and then then the part 2 comes out, or the other version of that comes out, and then all it takes is one person, man. The sheep factor, you know what I mean? It takes one person just to stand out, and then oh shit, it can be done. Oh, we don't need to just do the Top Boy thing. We can actually just make a normal film. We can have a relationship in here. We can have a bit of comedy in this, ma. You know what I mean?
Fact.
Open the thing up, man. Open it up. We're not a central line. We are a vast array of people of many different tones, many different nationalities, tribes, and all of that, with a various amount of creativity.
I begged for contact with my son.
All right, so you hear that, Noble? She says that he was in care for 4 years and she begged for contact. So you got to, within that 4 years, we don't know. We don't know what's taking place.
But we need to also examine what led up to him being in care. Did social services take him off the mother? Did she volunteer the child into social care, social services care?
Good question.
It's weird, and then because I didn't know it was that period of time. The rudimentary stuff I looked at was that he was in there for a year. She didn't have contact with him for a year, and it's confusing. It's very confusing. But what you're highlighting and saying reference to the quote unquote care system, which is very different to what it used to be. It's all been shipped out now in regards to like the care homes when we were growing up, Mark. It was like a big house with with a big garden, something, and there were people on there, 5 staff members or something, looking after children. These days, it's smaller houses, and those people were directly working for the council. These days, it's private individuals who win tenders to take care of children in private dwellings. So where everyone's listening to this right now, you've probably got 10 doors away from you or 10 houses away from you. You've got a children home.
Yes, 100%.
So
100.
Not to denigrate the great service that some of these people are doing, but some of them,
it's a business.
It's a blatant business. It's just numbers. They've got food, clothing, and shelter, but it's like a little mini trap house that's going in there. They're coming in there. They're burning the place down. It's no real care is being done. So the support mechanisms are outside of like, okay, we're in a quote unquote deprived area. There's multiple gangs operating in here, and this person's a high risk individual. How can we channel? How do we stop this person from getting involved in this criminality which is here now? He's all the way from that up in Manchester. He's in Brum now. How do we maintain and make sure that he doesn't fall down those lines? And this is what is not happening. No one's proactively thinking about that. They wait till they transfer him from Manny to Brum. He links up with the man then, or he falls into some craziness. And then once he's going through a court case, then it's like, oh, well, how can we mitigate this moving forward?
Yeah,
Prevention better than cure.
That's it. That's how I would look at it. 1,000 for me. I look at a grassroots cause of these kind of issues. I look at the grassroots cause because you have to look at why he was in care in the first place. That's a very good question, because him being in care, he's open to certain things, but I will say life can happen. You know what I mean? Life can happen if you look at, to me, I mean, if you look at that image that's on the screen right now, that boy's a lot younger there. He's probably about 9 there, 8 or 9. So there was a time where this mom clearly was able. For some reason, the mother's lost her way somewhere along the way. That's what it appears as though. Then he's been in care, because you don't take children off you don't take children off able mothers. You do not. I'm not saying there are a few who fall through the cracks or whatever, but you don't take children from able mothers in general. Yeah. So these are the bigger questions, grassroots causes. But then if we bring up the grassroots causes, it brings about a very uncomfortable conversation.
It definitely does.
It brings about a very uncomfortable, because the facts are this boy may represent 100,000 youth.
More than that.
I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah, man.
This is not accurate in any way. But I'm just giving you an example of how much youth may be in that same predicament, who end up putting on this persona or joining a gang or whatever the case may be, and end up in this predicament. How do you navigate it? How do you stop it from happening? But how do you prevent it from happening to someone else? That again, Aisha. It's a grassroots cause. That's why I said it brings about a very uncomfortable conversation, because this is a single mother. Let's keep it real. Where was the dad? Let's keep this thing 1,000. Where was the dad? And then on top of that, boy, there's
Hey,
things
but
I
no,
say.
okay,
There's things I
on that
could.
line,
You know how I stay, people.
yes, on that line. So look, it's a reality, unfortunately. Until a man will actually be a man, if he's created life, that's another that's a challenge in itself. So what we got to do is there's two challenges we've got. We've got to make men aware and have responsibility for their responsibilities of creating life. That's the first thing that we've got to do. Secondly, we've got to support the women who are the single mothers. So how do we support a woman who's a single mother? Surely she's got an uncle, right? Or if she hasn't got, she's got somebody, right? If she hasn't got somebody, she's got to have male influences in her life who can be in that boy's life on a regular basis. And I'm not talking about like every other month. I'm talking about seeing that boy, a male figure, being in that household. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about on no sexual level with the mother. I'm just talking about showing manhood. Yeah, come, let's go to the gym. Yeah, man. Let's go to the park and let's play some footy. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Let's do man and boy activities. Let me show you what it means to be a man. Oh, hey, Dave, when we're out, how come you always open up the door for the women? That's what a man does. Oh, how comes when you do this and when we're driving and you do that? Oh, it's because of this. It's learning not just from the feminine energy, from your guidance and protection, which is your single mother, but you've now got a masculine energy in that there. You've got a force. That's what we need to start to address. So if you know of a sister who is raising three boy them on their own, one boy, even girl children, you need to make it your business to try and provide some kind of input there.
That village has now disappeared. It has now disappeared. I was watching Next Friday yesterday, and for those of you who remember Next Friday, at the start, the dad of Craig, who's Ice Cube, is taking him out from where he's from because of the beef with Debo to his uncle. And when he pulls up, Craig goes, "Yo, you're gonna come in?" He said, "Yo, I'm not coming in. I can't stand him." But guess what? He was dropping his son off there.
Come on.
They understood that even though they got their issues,
yes,
that is the youth are not involved. That's family.
Exactly.
So the uncle's taking on the same brother you don't get on with. He's taking him on. But that's how things was in those days. Now it would be, I ain't taking my man's you. You're mad. My man disrespecting me. A lot of that happens now. Petty stuff. Where man's arguing with the mom and dad, but the youth inherit that as well. In them days, a man could, an auntie, an uncle, two aunties, whatever, they could be at loggerheads, but the children, nah, they ain't involved. They're not involved. And then what happens is the system's ready to step in. This is what I say. Parental alienation needs to be a major thing that's addressed as well. That is damaging a lot of these boys too. Parental alienation, because we talk about a grassroots problem. We don't know why the dad's not there. It could be that the dad walked out and never came back. It could be that the dad was cut out of his life.
Or forced out.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of men don't understand that. And then there is a point in any boy's life, you need that. I don't care who you are. You need that. You need him. You need him. It doesn't matter. There's a reason why you have two. If you didn't need that, woman could give birth without man. I'm not talking about what man have created with all them embryos and all that. Yeah. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about the act of man and woman creating life. It takes two.
It certainly does, Mark. But when you've got, as I said, we and you're right, the community, that village atmosphere vibe that we once had needs to be reinstated. It needs to be reinstated. Now we'll continue to say this, and there are people who are trying.
Yeah.
There are people who are trying. We've got to continue to try. We have to be the beacons of light as much as possible. The slippery slope is when we say, I like we've had the conversation before. Who's gonna be the father, the stepfather to this? Let me rephrase it. Who would have been the stepfather to this poor child who's no longer on this plane of existence? To be that father figure, because man's are saying, "Nah, boss, that's not my child."
Facts, yeah, facts. Well, he's ran into the wrong crowd, of course. He's ran into a set of boys who said, I'll step up, but I'll teach you how to do the wrong things. I'm going to bring you into this crew. I'm going to use you. There's not enough, man, where it's like, yo, this shoot's lost. Let me show him a thing. Or, you see what I mean? Even this is what I say to people all the time, yeah? Just the act of being kind and friendly, just the act of telling somebody, you know, good day, good evening, good night, how you doing? Some little chitter chatter. You don't know what that does for that person, you know. Like, he may have met a boy who, you know, made him know certain things are wrong. Now, don't do that. Don't do that, man. It's not going to end up, don't do that.
Yeah.
You can remember them things, you know. You remember who tells you the right advice, you know. Or even just to realize that it ain't cool. Like, I always tell these youths, it ain't cool. Like, do it if you want to do it, but it's not cool. It's not something that's cool in the long run. You're going to regret doing that, you know. So, I mean, you will regret doing it, and you put in yourself, why you want to work at a disadvantage? You're already at a disadvantage by default. Why would you want to put yourself at a further disadvantage? This is the UK. Everything is held against you in today's world. We've said this time and time again, Noble. There's man who's committed crimes where they're complete different people in today's world, but the DBS, they can't pass that. So there's certain industries, like I can just throw one out there straight away. Aviation.
Come on.
You cannot work in aviation with certain crime. Well, not even certain, mostly all crime. You just can't work in it. I'm talking from the ground up.
Yes.
Because that's an industry that, you know, they can't afford any
security.
Exactly.
All about security.
Exactly.
Sibling.
That industry right there. And even like if you look in today's world now, yeah, just think how advanced we are now.